Medicare supplement rates are going up. I warned you last year, based on the industry intel, that we would experience double-digit increases in 2025, on 2026, probably 2027, across all carriers. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I think the sky is probably not falling. Calm down. Well, the sky fell. You guys are feeling the rate increases. This is a little pitch for CSG Actuarial. If you don't subscribe to them, as an agent with Gordon Marketing, you get access to it through Gordon Marketing. But they are the ones that put together this data and lots of other amazing data. So they're showing you, here's all the carriers, here's the rate increases. You can zoom in on this video, capture it later. But it's bad. It's double digits everywhere. There's a couple that are 9.2, but more likely we're going to see 15.9 or 14.5. And you've heard of higher ones, of course, in those states. One of the things that has come to the forefront is that not all carriers have a 12-month rate lock on Medicare supplements anymore, which used to be the standard, but things have changed. Prices have gone up, right? Medical inflation, all the impact of COVID, all the different factors that are driving everything up, yes, are driving up the cost of Medicare supplements. Not to mention the fact that this is finally the year where Medicare Advantage, we used to have about half run Medicare supplement, half run Medicare Advantage, where Medicare Advantage has started to take the lead. And the projections show that Medicare Advantage will just continue to outpace Medicare supplement enrollments. Medicare enrollments are reputed to be dying on the vine. Yeah, that's my opinion, that they are dying on the vine. Not because of some nefarious plot by the government necessarily to get rid of them, although you will hear those political rumors that the administration is very pro-privatizing of Medicare, aka pro-Medicare Advantage. Medicare supplements are dying because, yeah, the sexy benefits on Medicare Advantage are taking the healthy people. Why pay a monthly premium when I can go over there and pay 0 monthly premium in 70% of the country and get the sexy extras, the extra benefits? So you know the argument. I think I'd rather go over there. I'd rather go over here. I don't think I've ever been in a room of insurance agents that would say, I think I'd rather have Medicare Advantage than a Medicare supplement. No. If you can comfortably afford a Medicare supplement, you want a Medicare supplement because you, especially you as a trained professional, know the pitfalls, the hoops, the negatives in Medicare Advantage. Without me stating them, you already know that those do not exist on the Medicare supplement side. That's why, like I said, a room full of insurance agents overwhelmingly would prefer a Medicare supplement. Now, it comes down to money. Everything comes down to money. So, will you be able to afford it? I tell my clients, I would prefer you start with a Medicare supplement, and here is why. Blah, 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 blah. Then I also warn them, you likely will not be able to maintain your Medicare supplement for the rest of your life. And they look at you like, what? And I talk about the rate increases. Now, it's speculation because past performance cannot be used to judge future rate increases, but the rate increases aren't going down. We're not looking at blue skies ahead for 2026. You can expect more of the same. Now, rate increases are controlled by your loss ratio, and each state Department of Insurance in some states are harder to get a rate increases, but they're going up. They're all going up. So the best thing you can do as an agent selling Medicare supplement plans is to be honest with your clients. You might find that they're not comfortably affordable at some point in the future. 5 years, maybe at 70, maybe 75, maybe in your 80s. But at some point, you're going to say, Sylvia, I cannot take another 17% rate increase. Help. And then we're going to talk about Medicare Advantage at that time. Now, I don't know your budget. I don't know what's comfortable for you. So you're going to have to call me, the agent, and say, let's talk about options. And at that point, we'll talk about Medicare Advantage. A lot of agents put themselves in a box because when they're talking to their client for the first time, typically at 65, they slam Medicare Advantage. You don't want it. It's trash. And they put themselves in a box and say, you want this. This is what I have. This is what my parents have. This is what you should buy. And then when the rates go up, they get to, I can't afford it. They're not going to call that agent back to move to Medicare Advantage because that agent already slammed Medicare Advantage. A good agent is talking the pros and the cons of both sides from the beginning and giving the client a vision of the future. And like I said, the vision needs to include the likelihood of double-digit rate increases. Now, when we used to have one-year rate locks, you had 1 year, you didn't have to worry about this. Now, go check. I'm not going to name names here, but since Allstate's no longer selling, I'm just going to say Allstate. But there's the biggest carrier in the country, I'm also not going to name, also doesn't do that in every state. So you'll have a client that you sold a Medicare supplement to that turned 65 in January. They got a rate increase in April, and they're furious. And you're like, oh, blah, 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 medical inflation, blah, blah, blah. Then they get another rate increase. Now they're not your client anymore. So you have to explain the landscape, the vision of how this looks, understand. And like I said, go check your carriers. Do they lock rates for 1 year in your state? And you're going to be shocked to find that a lot of them no longer do that. Now, a lot of you found that out the hard way this year when you got the call, typically from Florida, that, hey, why'd my rates go up already? A lot is happening in MedSups because it's making it harder for these companies to stay profitable when the healthy people are all leaving for Medicare Advantage. So that will not stop. That will continue to accelerate, especially if Medicare Advantage gets a pay bump like they did this year for 2026, where they can increase or at least maintain those extra benefits, which are so attractive, the dental, right? They're so attractive that they'd have to pay separate for over here. So more and more people keep leaving Medicare supplements to Medicare Advantage, which puts more pressure on Medicare supplements, which continues to drive up the price. So the administration doesn't have to do anything to get rid of Medicare supplements. If an administration doesn't want Medicare supplements, just sit around and wait. This is what is currently happening. More pressure on Medicare supplements is via the birthday rule. The birthday rule is sweeping the country. Okay, I did a video on the birthday rule. I'm slightly exaggerating by sweeping the country, but if I didn't slightly exaggerate, would I even be Sylvia Gordon? Okay, so we have maybe 8 new states for 2025 and 2026 that are implementing the birthday rule. When the birthday rule comes in, prices rise, right? Because you know why. So prices rise. So the birthday rule is putting yet more pressure on Medicare supplements. You will see even more rate increases in your state when it adopts the birthday rule. It doesn't happen immediately. So people in Idaho are like, yeah, it's been cool. And Nevada's like, yeah, it's coming. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but it is coming. Look at Oregon, California, Washington. It's coming. Now, if you are in a state that does not yet have the birthday rule, please get involved with your NABIP local chapters and educate your insurance department on the fact that Medicare supplements are under pressure and that they have some pressure, they have some ability to push back on the birthday rule, which will only accelerate the death spiral of the entire Medicare supplement market, which, like I said, if anybody can afford a Medicare supplement, they would want a Medicare supplement. They don't want to have to be restricted to certain doctors and certain hospitals. They don't want to deal with the prior authorization and the appeal and the reappeal, and I can't get my surgery and blah, blah, blah. That you don't have that red tape on the Medicare supplement side. Not that Medicare Advantage plans are bad. I think they're wonderful. They're a great choice for many people. But I would like for my clients, when I'm selling personally, I would like them to understand the pros and the cons. And then when they say, well, what would you do? It's not fair to say, what would I do? We don't have the same budget. What would you do with your budget? What can you comfortably afford? Buy the best insurance you can comfortably afford. That's the best advice you can get as an unbiased professional. And unbiased means you're not slamming Med Advantage or slamming Medicare supplements. Actually, the new CMS rule that goes in effect for 2026 says that you can't just talk Medicare Advantage. You have to talk Medicare supplement. You have to give your clients that educated option of the choices. We'll see how that looks when they flesh out what script they want us to use, but that's already law that will be starting for this AEP. So if you learned something today, please give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. Thanks for watching.